What if you were to listen to an internationally acclaimed, multi-award-winning illusionist, and he had something far more to say than, "Watch this trick"? Rick Thomas is that performer, ready to go far beyond his magic and far beyond your imagination as he shares secrets regarding our dreams. Dreams that can become reality. The future belongs to those who believe in the strength of their dreams. Dreams pass into the reality of action. From the action stems the dream again. And this interdependence produces the highest form of living. Join Rick and his co-host, award-winning broadcaster Tammy Trujillo, for Nothing Happens Until You Dream. Indulge your mind and take a journey never to be forgotten. A journey connecting all of our dreams as we chase them together.
Rick, something I've never thought about, but there's a lot of things I never thought about in terms of magicians and illusions until you and I got going on this podcast, was how magicians sometimes covet creating a certain illusion. I've never really thought about that. We're looking right now at chapter 30. It's called Never Be Satisfied. And I'm very interested in seeing where this goes today. But it opens with this great picture of you with a particular illusion. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but I've got to ask right off the bat, how old are you in this picture about?
Maybe 26 years old.
That's about what I thought.
27.
Wow. It's great to see these pictures of you as a really young guy, just going back to prove how long you have been at this.
Fair while.
Yeah.
And in fact, what's intriguing about this picture, and we're going to get into it this very day, is we are actually heading into the holiday season this year. And that particular piece has always been probably one of the greatest puzzles in the world of magic. And it's actually in my show this week. It's not something that I often do and haven't done for too many years because the show has grown. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot about being never satisfied. But I am sending out a very large part of my production to Australia for the tour. And I needed to go back into the warehouse and say, I think this one would be a good one to perform in Branson. So for that reason, I am presenting what I call the origami box.
And before we get into that one, because I have seen that done, and boy, sometimes I can kind of guess. This one, forget about it. I haven't got a clue. But wait, you've got a warehouse, just a giant stash of illusions?
Yes, I do.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's years of not being satisfied. And it'll be explained because it all started actually with that one particular illusion, the origami box. Mm-hmm. I had a few other before it. I had an illusion, of course, where I caused a girl to float in the air. It is always a big deal, I think, as an illusionist or a magician to cause things to float or fly.
Oh, yes.
And
very cool.
I had an illusion where I sliced a girl into a few pieces because that's what magicians still also do. Isn't that a bizarre conversation?
Yes, very.
Just slicing somebody up and putting them back together again.
If somebody's listening out of context, we're probably in trouble.
Yes. And I just needed a puzzle. I needed an illusion that fit in the center of the production that made my show complete. I always had the birds in the show, so I'd open the show with the birds and I'd do some comical effect, and then I would do an illusion and another effect where I was discussing something with the audience, and then something in the center of the show, and then something that carried out the show and closed it. So you need a strong opening, something solid in the center, and a strong closing. And if you have that, you have a show.
Wow.
That's the secret.
Okay. Well, I've always wondered how to put together a magic show. I can put together a newscast. I know where all my elements go, but you have the same kind of formula of putting together a show that leaves people where you want to leave them in terms of their emotion and their feelings.
Can I ask you something about putting together a newscast?
Sure.
Okay.
Of course.
And I know you teach class.
Yes, I
know
do.
You have students that you teach as well, and you've turned your knowledge towards others, which is huge. It's massive. I think it's awesome that you're sharing your knowledge with the youth of today. But I was taught, and if I'm reading it wrong, I read a lot of news online.
Okay.
And I was taught that usually in a conversation with news, you want the audience to know what you're talking about within the first sentence or two. And often today, I am purposely reading through news articles, and I can't figure out what's going on till the third or fourth paragraph.
Okay.
Is there a change in the way that people are spreading the news, or is the generation today not understanding how to write news?
I think it's a tad of the latter, unfortunately. But if you're reading news, it's a different writing style than if you're hearing news. Reading, not to get too technical here, but there's the inverted pyramid and the not inverted pyramid styles. Okay. And the inverted pyramid is what is generally used in written news, where you start broad and you finish with the finite details.
Okay.
Because the reader can always go back and review things as they go through the content. And because somebody reading is probably seated and going to be working on that for more than, 10 seconds. When you're hearing electronic news, which radio, TV, etc., first off, you're probably doing something else like driving or eating dinner in front of TV or something like that. So we need to grab you right off the bat. You cannot go back and review what we say unless you've, recorded it in some way. So we do the pyramid in the proper configuration, like a pyramid might be, where we hit you with the most important and most recent details first, and then we work down to the background.
Got it. Okay.
Other reason, I'll give you the other reason for that, is because we're always up against a clock. There's a commercial coming or something happening that we have to make sure we're really on time. If we have to drop the last sentence or two, our story's still going to make sense because we already gave you the most important stuff.
Understood.
Yep. There it is. Broadcast 101.
I appreciate it. And I really do appreciate you describing that information to me, because I'm telling you, sometimes, as you say, I'm reading an article and I'm like, what?
I know.
What is this about?
Yeah.
Why am I even reading this?
Well, if they did it in the narrative form, which I call the storybook form, which I despise, I'll just put that out there. It's like, once upon a time, this happened and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't like that form. I think it wastes a lot of time and it frustrates people like you're frustrated with it. Not my favorite.
All right. Well, then let's get to the point. The point is never be satisfied.
Right.
You're going to get something in life and think that that's all you need. And then you're going to realize you need more. There you go. That's the end of the podcast. Thank you very much.
And that sounds like my life too. I'm never satisfied. I get something, I desire something, I work to get it. And then I think, okay, I've got everything. And then boom, something else pops up and I'm like, oh my God, I need that. I got to do that. I have to do that. I want people to really to understand your world more because, magic is mysterious. It's supposed to be. Do you learn about new illusions out there? I know you create illusions as well as a magician.
We do. We learn and we create. No one person is an island. It is said over and over again. Yes, that's cliche, but it really truly is. There are some extremely talented people out there, but you need to realize that you need to join forces with others to become great. What I really enjoy looking at the credits at the end of a movie.
Oh, yeah.
And they go by so fast that you barely can read the names. But what I do is I count. I count the people. I don't always see the names, but I count. And today's movies, on average, need about 2,000 people.
It seems, yeah.
To create a movie.
It's a lot.
And I repeat it again, 2,000. So when I look at what I've accomplished and what I do and what I try to create, I kind of pat myself on the back and say, oh, you're doing pretty good for one.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I take it back. I have an amazing wife who is an amazing partner and star in the show. I've got an amazing cast who all know. I've got a guy on lights and sound, Frank, who knows everything about the lights and sound and makes the show look great. I got a crew backstage who absolutely rock the world and make sure that everything works backstage. So it all comes together, but there has to be one driving force, one person who just doesn't quit no matter what and keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. And that's me. And I'm never satisfied.
The truck driver.
Yeah.
Yep. The truck driver. I'm not making a joke there. You do actually drive the semi for the show. Just in case people don't know, I wasn't making a joke there. It's true. You actually, of all the people I know who do illusion or who do any kind of performance, you do have a smaller crew than pretty much anybody I've ever met for as large of a production as you do, because you are not a great delegator. Neither am I. We want to do it all.
I know.
We do. Well, let's talk.
I say that timidly now because I'm feeling the pain.
No, I know it.
It hurts.
I know.
It hurts when we finish the show. I just have never wanted anybody to think that I'm willing to ask somebody to do something and that I'm not willing to do it myself as well.
That's
so I'm kind of right there by everybody and doing what I can. And sometimes I'll say, hey guys, I need you to take this and do this for me. But for the most part, I don't know. It just still brings me great joy to continue to work as hard as I can.
Yeah.
And put on a show and know by the end of the day that I literally have given it everything I've got.
I never want to be the person that shows up and has everything all laid out for me and they go, oh, Tammy's here, we can start now. And everything's just, okay, let's go. No, I have to have more ownership of what I'm doing. I think you and I are very similar there. Well, let's talk about this illusion because, okay, that picture, you said you're about 26 years old there. When did you start thinking about this origami box?
I must tell you that there is an amazing creator in the world of magic. His name is Jim Steinmeier, and he actually concocted this strange effect. You know, most of the time you think, let's make a person float or fly, or like it says, I've been discussing, cut a person in half. There are many different things that can be done in the world of magic. And once you understand those different concepts, you've got some direction. And this particular one is placing a girl in a box large enough for her to fit, and then folding this particular individual down into a 12-inch square box. And once you've done so, pass 3 swords through the box. And I'm going to tell you right now, for those that think that it's fake, and I know you think, well, magic is fake, but those swords that pass through that box are rock solid.
They really are.
And we as magicians try extremely hard to make sure that when we say it's a solid steel blade or whatever it may be, or this is a real deck of cards, or this, and it goes on and on and on. They really are. We're not trying to fake you out on that. We're going to deceive you, but that's not the part that is utilized as its deception. And we try so hard to actually make things as fair as possible in the process of cheating anyway.
Well, I know you always you bang the swords together so people can hear them clang. But I always thought, oh, they're just banging the hard part together. There's got to be a part that collapses.
No. And they literally, they go through the box. And then, of course, you pull those blades out and the box opens back up again. And the girl comes out of the box unharmed. This particular effect is my mother-in-law's favorite illusion. And she loves it. And every time she sees her daughter perform it, she says, that's my favorite. And I said, but I've been doing it for years. And for me, it is something that is part of what Rick Thomas is. This is part of what people know me to do. But I like to move on. I like to create and do something new. But in this case, it is actually in the show right now. And when I obtained this effect, and I worked on it so hard to come up with my own style, my own look, costumes, whatever it may be, I thought to myself, you know what? I've got a really strong show. This is all I need. This is all I need to succeed in life. This is it. If I can get the origami box, I'll be happy. If I can get this one illusion and put it in my show, it will do everything I need for the rest of my life. This is it. And the moment, and is this sounding familiar to anybody?
Oh, yes.
The moment I purchased and created this effect was the moment I was not satisfied. And that actually is the reason why I wrote the chapter, how wonderful it is to not be satisfied.
I agree.
Because our need as humans, I don't know what the rest of the animal kingdom does, but as far as humans are concerned, one of the greatest gifts we have is to not be satisfied. If we were, then we would not have the joys that we are given in life today. And that's everything. List it. You want to count your blessings? Count air conditioning. Somebody had to create air conditioning. Somebody said, oh man, it's hot in here. I got to do something to fix this.
The fan's
And they
not
had a
doing it.
dream, they
Yeah.
had a want, they had a wish, they had a desire, and they went for it. And they created air conditioning, refrigerators, ice, cars, motorcycles, bicycles, homes. How about restrooms? How about not having to go to the outhouse anymore? Okay. Indoor plumbing.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Must I go on? I just want you to sit back and think about all the dreams that people had and everything that they wished and they wanted and they pursued makes the world we live in better. So you cannot be satisfied. If you are satisfied, humanity stops. We start to collapse. I know that this is just a basic chapter, but that really is what I'm trying to talk about. You should be thrilled. In fact, my truck kind of fell apart.
Oh.
I've had a truck since 2008, and it had about 250,000 miles on it, and it imploded about a couple weeks ago.
Oh, no.
And I had to get another truck. Now, I utilize these vehicles more so for the show and moving equipment around. And so I see it as utility more than, hey, I got a new truck. And when I went to the dealer to purchase the truck, he goes, aren't you excited? And I'm like, no, not really. And he goes, what? And, because everybody comes in and they're buying their vehicle. Most people are sitting there. When I walk into the dealer, this is what I see. I see people sitting at a table and looking at the paperwork in front of them and their head down on the table going, how am I going to afford this?
Yeah. No
how
kidding.
am I going to afford this? And I can see it in almost every table. I'm
Anguish.
like, I see the man going, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm signing my life away. So that's what I see. So I don't find great joy. The vehicle's wonderful, and I'm very grateful for everybody that stepped in and was part of me getting this vehicle for the show. But it was shocking. I mean, he's like, what? You're not excited? I go, no.
It's a truck.
And I need the truck, and let's move on. I've just realized that we anticipate and wish and hope for that one moment that when it comes, it's going to be everything to us.
Right.
And so often, more than not, it's a letdown.
Yeah, it is. It is. You buy the new car, and it's all shiny and pretty, and the first scratch. Oh, it breaks your heart because your perfect illusion, no pun intended, is now damaged. And from then on out, it's like, I give in. There will be scratches. Yeah. I know that feeling. If you ever got satisfied, wouldn't you be bored?
Yes.
Wouldn't you be boring?
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of boring people out there.
Oh, yes, I know.
So I'm going to just tell you, stop being satisfied. Stop kicking back and doing nothing. With the origami box, it was brilliant. It was perplexing. It is phenomenal. It is a brilliant piece of magic. And I'm one of the lucky few who had the grand opportunity to present this before the entire world saw something of this nature. But once I obtained the illusion, the moment I did, I wanted something else. I wanted more.
Isn't part of it, though, that you proved you could conquer the illusion, learn how to do it properly? Wasn't that part of it, that you'd proven you could do something that you coveted to do that was difficult?
Right. I think that's a huge, huge part in life. People are actually, the reason that people don't follow their dreams more often than not is they're scared.
Oh, yeah.
They're frightened. They're frightened of failure. They're frightened that, it's easier to just sit here in the comfort zone. And if I push forward, I may fail. If I push forward, I may not quite get what I want.
Right.
Let me tell you something about dreams. I rarely get what I want.
I know that feeling.
I have what I need.
Yeah.
But I don't get what I want. And I say that because when you do follow your dreams, sometimes the dreams actually come true in a different way. You don't get everything that you thought in your head it would be. But when you think about it, when you look back on it, you realize that most of the dream, part of the dream, came to fruition.
Right.
And at least that's something. Not all the dream is going to be perfect. Not every time you do something, it's going to be grand. But who cares? Look how much better off you are because of it. You've got to follow the dreams and have a blast enjoying the ride, because getting there is not the fun part.
No, that's the hard work.
And I'm going to remind you again, there's a lot of people out there that you may look up to who you think have everything. when you covet something of others, when you look at their wealth, their life, the way they live, appearing to be happy, this or that, it's the wrong direction to look. You need to truly understand that those individuals have their own problems as well.
Yes.
And life is not perfect for any of us. My problem is the Facebook syndrome. You know where I'm going with that?
Oh, do I ever? Yeah.
Tell me what your thoughts are on how we as people view our lives because of the world around us.
Oh, you compare. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine and his wife are right now, right this moment, on a train going to New Orleans. They've retired, and I've known them since high school. And they've retired, and they're on a train to New Orleans for a grand adventure for Thanksgiving. And I saw that this morning. I thought, oh gosh, they're so lucky. And then I remembered what health issues one of them is going through. And I thought, oh, no, this is wonderful because they're fulfilling a dream.
Yes.
But we always put up the highlights of our life, generally on social media. Mm-hmm. And so you compare, oh, look, all the fun they're having. They're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing the other thing. And I'm sitting here. Yeah, we compare ourselves to the illusion that Facebook and social media in general puts up because everybody puts up their highlights.
Here's an intriguing thought. Remember, I just talked to you about how many people it takes to make a movie. Let's say the average movie today takes 2,000 people.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You are one person. Now, follow me on this. When you look at Facebook, when you look at Instagram or Twitter, whatever it is that you're communicating, the formerly known as Twitter.
Yes, X. Yes. Gosh, please.
When you look at what everybody's doing, you're looking at what everybody.
Yeah.
You're not looking at just what one person is doing.
That's true.
You are getting in your face a couple things that this person is doing, a couple things that that person is doing, and the next person, and the next, and the next. And before you know it, you say to yourself, look at all these people and look at everything they're doing.
Right. Okay.
Back up. Because when you realize that you're looking at 100, 200, 300 people, and it's overwhelming that all these wonderful things are happening, they're happening to 200 or 300 people, not one.
Cumulative.
But you as one, look at all of those people as one product. So you misunderstand by thinking that, man, look at me. Look how much of a loser I am. I'm not getting anything done. When you realize that you're looking at everybody as a whole, not as individuals. And everybody is doing their one or two things. And bravo for them. And bravo to you for following your dreams and doing the same. And that literally in our conversation today is literally came to my mind. Oh, you're looking at what it takes. That's why when I look at a movie, it makes me feel better when I sit back and go, man, I imagine what I could do with 2,000 people.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That would be scary. I want to take you back to that 26-year-old in the picture that opens chapter 30. Okay. If you can go back and be him for just a second, could he have ever imagined that he would have Mansion of Dreams? Because it's a big deal. I know it's something that you talked about for years and had pictures and drawings. I remember them on that iPad long before it existed.
I can tell you, yes. In my particular case, I knew who I was going to be years later or where I wanted to be. I am not there yet. I am not happy with the final outcome of where everything is. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I'm thrilled. I'm so glad that I've had the life that I've lived and enjoyed so much in the world of magic. But I have so much more to offer. I have so much more to give. And I think that that's where the never be satisfied. As me personally, it is a drive that has been in me when I was even 26 years old. I wanted to be the greatest. I wanted to be the most amazing. I wanted to have a massive show in Las Vegas. That I accomplished. I wanted to tour the world. That I have done.
Yep.
And now that I am performing most of my season in Branson, Missouri, in a beautiful theater, it is now becoming a 9-to-5 job again. And I have to be careful with myself and realize, Rick, you don't have to be touring the world every day to be something important. You don't have to actually be performing in Las Vegas to be something grand. Wherever you are, There you are. That is where you are at the moment, and you should be embracing everything that it is giving you and enjoy life where it is. Stop wishing for something else and missing out on what's in front of you.
On the moment. There's a TV commercial on about some yoga pants. Irrelevant. But the girl in it, I know, right? But the girl in it says something that has always grabbed me. Not that I'm into yoga pants at all, but she says, you have to find happiness where you are. Because she tours a lot. She's a pro athlete, so she's rarely anywhere. You have to find happiness where you are. And I've thought about that because she's right. But you mentioned earlier when we were talking about my teaching, thanking me for sharing my knowledge with the younger generation, and I greatly appreciate that. But one of the other benefits of teaching is my students remind me all the time without meaning to, of how good my career has been and continues to be. They remind me of that because they're like, wow, you've done so much. And in my mind's where yours is. But I haven't done it yet. Whatever it is, I haven't accomplished it. It. But my students remind me, you've accomplished a lot, girl. So it's easy to get lost in the pursuit of it, whatever it is, and forgetting everything that's happened. Because if you think about it realistically, if I think about it realistically, being that we grew up virtually a stone's throw away from each other in Long Beach, we'd done pretty good.
So are you saying that I'm supposed to be happy with my new truck? Is that what you're trying to...
Well, yeah, I'll be happy with your new truck because it is a new
Enjoy
truck.
It for a day or two.
Yeah, it's a new truck, but yeah, you don't go out and do somersaults. I don't either when I buy certain things. I buy them because they need them, and I go, oh, that's a nice one. I got that. And other people would be, throwing a welcome home truck party. Well, maybe not you or I. I will never be satisfied. I'm going to be creating and doing things forever. And so will you. But we can't forget that we really have accomplished. And I don't mean we, I mean everybody out there has accomplished something. And they can accomplish more. You just can't get, passive, like you said. Well, there is more. There are people in their 80s and 90s out there getting more.
Yes.
And
it's in my show every single day. You've got to follow your dreams, not only for yourself, but for the rest of our future. And I even talk to people now about the different chapters in their life. I say it specifically as well, and I share it here. So you think that when you're younger, you're going to have a couple chapters in your life and you call it a day, oh, wow, I'm 30 years old. My life is going great. This is going to be wonderful. Life is what? What? Wait a minute. Something just knocked me down a little bit. Wait a minute. I just been knocked down a little bit further. Oh my goodness. What is going on? And you realize that your life is made up of many chapters.
Yep.
And what's amazing is when one chapter closes, another one absolutely opens.
It's
true. You just have to be looking for it. And when you do, and I say to people, no matter what your age, it does not matter. You must continue to follow a dream, something in your life that pushes you forward. And that's the great thing about life, the journey. So I know the future frightens us all. Live in the present and enjoy what you have, and don't be satisfied. Never be satisfied. I hope that everybody's life is full. I hope that your life goes on in many different directions, and that it's going to make your life full at whatever you decide to do and make it amazing. So...
Well, the thing I think that stops people is that fear of failure. And, it's easy to be scared of that. But, I have found just going through all the different chapters of mine, because there have been a few, I rarely have failed as badly as I expect to, if I fail. And sometimes I haven't failed at all. And it's been like, wait a minute, this turned out a lot easier and better than I thought it was. Why did I wait so long? What did I do? I could have been doing this a year ago because, it's wonderful. It's fantastic. It worked. To coin a phrase.
It's the same with me. Okay, so I started out doing birthday parties.
Right.
And then I went on to perform for family reunions. And then I began performing magic at local restaurants, close-up magic at restaurants. And then a club here or there. Then I went on cruise ships. and I started performing on cruise ships. That was a scary jump.
Oh,
and then
gosh.
from cruise ships, I went to performing at theaters and casinos.
Yeah.
From the casinos, I went to performing arenas. And I can tell you this, the jump from the casinos and performing in like Las Vegas, and even though it was extremely scary, jumping into doing an arena performance was in my mind overwhelming.
Yeah.
So even then, making those jumps and going from one to the next, it was overwhelming to me. I was frightened. I was scared. But don't let them see you sweat.
No, never.
Everybody around me, they're like, Rick, how do you do this? I say, I just do this.
Yep.
I do it because it's there. And in my head, I'm going, what are you thinking?
Oh, I know. Thank God nobody can read our minds, really. Thank goodness, because it would blow the entire illusion to think, oh my God, he's up there and he's scared.
I'm not scared of failure anymore. I'm scared of not doing anything anymore.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't mind. I'm over it. I know that we have to push forward, and I'm thrilled when I think of something. Hey, let's go do this. Let's make this happen. If it doesn't go the right direction, I don't think it bothers me now more so than it did. I think it's just because, you get settled in life and you've had some of those dreams come true. But I just don't like sitting around. So those of you listening to this podcast, take it from two people who might doubt themselves, but
constantly
have never been satisfied.
There you go.
And I see it often. I people watch and I look at the world around me. And right now, and coming into the holiday season, it's a very tough thing to discuss. But financially, a lot of people are having some challenges.
Oh, yeah.
It really is a tough world out there. And it's a want world as well. And I know we have the holidays coming up, and I know that there are stores that don't want people to say things like this. Get things that you need rather than you just want. That want goes away quickly. And we are a people who need instant gratification. And we want it, and we want it now, and we can't wait. Yes. We can't wait. I'm going to tell you something very quickly that I just saw this. There was actually an instructor I was listening to this week, and I think it was the 1950s or 60s, and I wish I had the names. I don't. But this was the test, and they had all these little children, 8, 9-year-old children, come into a room all by themselves, and they put in front of them a marshmallow, and they said, you can have this marshmallow now, or if you wait 15 minutes, you can have 2.
Oh.
And then they left the room.
Oh, dear.
And they recorded these children. And only 1/3 of them waited for that second marshmallow because they couldn't wait.
Couldn't stand it.
And I'm just saying right now, for you to think that dreams are supposed to happen now, that they're supposed to happen instantly, and everything that you wish, want, and desire in life is given to you now. No. Life, your time, and what's been given to you in your life, you must respect, but also understand that it's on its own time frame as well.
Oh, yes.
And everything that you're trying to pursue is not going to happen in the first 15 minutes.
I tell my students that all the time.
Be patient.
Yep. Wait.
And you're going to get 2 marshmallows.
There you go. Just remember 2 marshmallows, not 1.
Yeah.
2 marshmallows. Well, talking about the financial situation, Rick, everybody wants to go out and they do want to spend, whether it's necessities or luxuries or, dream items or whatever. But boy, the reality starts to come right back at you as you start thinking past the holidays and thinking about property taxes and income taxes and all the realities of living, and money's tight. We're in a situation right now financially all over this country. And you have a plan.
Gold. Did I say that loud enough?
Yes, you did.
Gold.
We'll echo silver in there too.
I get to say it in my show now. I do an illusion in the show where I borrow a ring from someone in the audience.
Oh, you do?
And it's usually a gold ring. And I say, literally, now I'm holding in front of you gold. Precious gold. And my suggestion to you is get some. Get some gold. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. And I hold it in front of them and say, this is a precious metal. It is something that you should wish, want, and desire. And I said, I am a modern day pirate. I then take that gold, I make it disappear, I make it reappear, and I utilize it within the production. But at the same time, it gives me a chance to slightly preach to my people watching the show that you need to do one thing, and that's diversify what you have, protect your family, and grab some precious metals now. not later, now.
It's not that hard. And when you say gold, everybody thinks their jewelry and how much their jewelry cost, their 14 karat or 10 karat or whatever. But that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about something that's extremely hard to get right now. You've got a pretty simple program.
Having jewelry is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
But when you have jewelry, you're also paying a premium because it's a piece of jewelry.
Yes.
In the end, if they were to take your gold and silver and we were in a scenario where it was just all about the gold and silver, it could just be simply melted down and it is what it's worth. It's gold.
Right.
It's not gold because it's 50% or 100% more because it looks pretty. That has nothing to do with its worth. So you need to just realize that I'm talking gold. I'm talking gold bullion. I'm talking gold and silver coins. I'm just talking obtaining a precious metal that will hold its worth, that the entire world accepts as a commodity.
If you want to find out how to do it, it is not an illusion. It's not a trick. All you got to do, go to mansionofdreams.net/wealth. There's a form. You fill it out, take you just a minute or two, and voila, your phone shortly will ring and Rick will be talking to you.
Oh, my goodness.
Just like that. Magic.
It's magic.
It's magic.
Tammy, thank you for a wonderful day.
Always.
I appreciate this. And I get to do another show this evening. And I am thrilled that I still have the opportunity to at least present one more show. And I'll go out there just happy driving my new truck to work and performing my illusion that I've been doing for so many years and present my life and looking at my entire life and what it is today. And it's come full circle. So I'm pretty happy camper.
And you'll make a lot of people happy in the audience tonight because I know it's a great
show. I promise to blow you away.
And you will.
Thanks for joining us this week on Nothing Happens Until You Dream, starring Rick Thomas and featuring Tammy Trujillo, and is based on Rick Thomas's best-selling book, The Tiger Whisker, available on rickthomas.com. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We'd love for you to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. And check us out on Patreon for exclusive members-only content. Stay up to date with Rick and Tammy at nothinghappensUntilYouDream.com. Remember, you must follow your dreams, not only for yourself, but for the rest of our future. We'll see you on the next episode.